Welcome to another edition of the Editor's Roundtable. This is Todd Runestad, the Editorial Director of the New Hope Supply Network. I'm here with Len Monheit, who's the Executive Director of the New Hope Supply Network. And our special guest today is Scott Steinford. He's the President of ZMC-USA. They're a supplier of some leading ingredients in the nutritional market: vitamin E, vitamin A, CoQ10, carotenoids. Scott, I want to talk with you first. ZMC-USA. This is not to be sort of belittled. I think it's an important point. There are a lot of companies, or a growing number of companies, from Asia that have -USA in it. Why don't you talk a little bit about really what that means? You know, there are sources of ingredients, there are suppliers of ingredients, and so much of the supply comes from Asia. How is the landscape changing?
Well, I think, Todd, that's an excellent question from a standpoint that there are Asian companies with -USA or America, but from a Chinese perspective, that has not been that prevalent. From the days of Marco Polo, Chinese have operated with a distributor network and not incorporated their own name or brand into their marketing. ZMC USA represents the first manufacturer within this industry to hyphenate and actually become a U.S. subsidiary of a named manufacturer. And that's important because it provides the trust and transparency. And one of the things you just mentioned were that there are suppliers and there's sources. And many Chinese manufacturers are sourced. But ZMC USA is building a business model that represents supply to the industry and trust and transparency.
Now, there are a lot of sort of quality concerns that go with any company that wants to source ingredients from China. Clearly, cost is something that is very attractive. The flip side of cost is you hear the issue of economically motivated adulteration. There are steps that are being taken to address that issue. Everything from third-party certification, analytical testing. What are some of the things that a company looking to source ingredients should make sure that their supply partner from Asia is doing in order to vouchsafe that quality?
Well, the first thing that you mentioned was third-party certification. And I believe that is the first step that manufacturers need to take. It's one thing to say, trust me, but it's another thing to say, trust me because. And third-party certifications such as USP or NSF are a good source of that independent authorization and certification. The second thing that's important is the industry participation. And industry participation is important because it gives back to the industry, and it is a two-way dialogue. It's not just, again, sourcing. It's entering into the market with a commitment. And there again, that's what ZMC USA brings to the marketplace now, and that's what I believe you're going to see more Chinese companies enter into the marketplace with this idea of bringing trust and transparency.
When you talk about participation within the marketplace, Scott, you're talking about things like participation in trade associations, leadership within the committees in those various trade associations, participation in the trade shows, really getting involved in some of the down and dirty growth of the industry things that we talk about and try to make sure that the right representatives are actually participating.
Exactly. And I think that it is important to note the companies that are participating, but then note further the ones that are leading. And there are more participants than there are leaders, but there are more non-participants at this point than participants. And that number will change as the Chinese manufacturers mature.
Yeah. One of the big buzzwords of the industry vis-a-vis China these days is it's not where it's manufactured, but it's how it's manufactured. Why don't you talk a little bit about what ZMC USA is doing to address that really central idea?
Well, first we have initiatives such as sustainability, environmental aspects. Again, many of our third-party certifications relate to the environmental aspects, the social responsibility. And from a standpoint of looking at where it's made, that can actually apply to not just China, but we've seen in America that manufacturers fall short of doing the right thing. That can happen anywhere. It can happen in America, it can happen in Mexico, it can happen in China, but it is the responsibility of the manufacturer to do the right thing, and it's the responsibility of the brand holder to ensure they're using companies that are doing the right thing at the right time, regardless of the geography.
Implied within what you're saying is that no matter where you go, there may be hidden costs of manufacturing and compliance, no matter where a material is sourced from.
Exactly. And again, one of the greatest hidden costs is not paying attention to the cost of quality. And if you're just sourcing materials rather than seeking suppliers, you're taking that risk that you're going to have an even greater hidden cost than you could afford by doing the right thing at the right time, regardless of the place.
You know, I think one of the central elements here is that there's this cultural divide, sort of between East and West. And one of the things that we talked about here is trade associations and trade leadership. Here in the United States, the nutritional products industry has a number of trade organizations. There doesn't seem to be that over there. I'm guessing that's a cultural thing. What are some of the things that we can do in America to help Asian companies navigate the American market as they come in and enter this? Len, you want to give that a shot?
Yeah, I will. One of the things is actually a program that our supply network is embarking upon this fall in China, in Shenzhen and Beijing. We're calling it a Market QuickStart program, where we're investing in bringing a number of our expert faculty from within New Hope and a couple without. So we've got Nutrition Business Journal represented, we've got NSF represented, we've got our New Hope 360 from an editorial standpoint, how to communicate to the market. We've got some marketing expertise. We're going to teach them about our New Hope standards, what it takes to comply from an FTC standpoint, what claims they can and cannot make in the marketplace, to prepare for whether it's trade advertising or whether it's for trade shows. We're going to teach them about the roles and the channels and who they need to know and what kind of investments in the marketplace they need to be successful. So these are some of the things that this Market QuickStart will deliver a little bit later on this year, better preparing some of these Asian companies to actively participate and engage the right way in our marketplace. We're excited about that.
You know, it seems like the dichotomy is are you going to do business with Asian companies out of fear or out of trust and transparency? I know we can talk a lot more about this. We're going to have to cut this short, but I invite you to look to future issues of Functional Ingredients magazine. It was our cover story in June. We're covering Asian issues again in July, August, and we will continue to do so. You can look also to newhope360.com for more coverage of that. Scott, I'd like to thank you for coming here today.
Thank you, Todd.
Len, see you next time.